Hi, this is Dennis again with Second Chance Tackle. I hope you're enjoying my videos. Today I'm going to answer the question, what is the difference between the older style made in the USA Penn Jigmaster and the newer version that's made in China? And mechanically, they're similar. They obviously share all of the same parts, same bone structure. This one was upgraded with the crossbars, but this is an older version, burgundy side plates, probably circa 1970, maybe the 80s. This is a newer version that probably was purchased within the last few years. So I'm going to go ahead and take these apart and show you the difference as I find them and what some of the common failures are I'm finding in this reel. You know, a lot of times people just seem to be prejudicial and say, oh, the ones made in China are no good compared to the older ones. This time around, I think they actually got something. So I thought I would share that with you. So I'm going to take the side plates off of both. This is the older version. This is the newer version. On the top end of it, the Bakelite handle on this one, the rubber knob on that one. That's not a mechanical issue. Actually, some prefer the grip of the rubber handle. And, you know, I can't fault a reel one way or another for that, right? So I'm going to take the handles off so we can get to the bridge assembly. That's what you're going to find is the biggest issue on these. I'm going to put these into a parts bucket just so I know where to go to replace it. I suggest you always carry a parts tray with you when you're disassembling reels. Just know where to look for them going forward. Okay, the first thing you'll notice on the older one is we've got a stainless steel bridge plate. As we go to the newer version, that's been replaced. It's been replaced by an alloy metal plate. I'd like to say it's brass. I don't believe it's brass. I believe it's a combination of metals, and that's one of the serious flaws or one of the biggest differences that we have there. Just staying with the handles for a moment, you've got a chrome-plated handle on the older version. You've got a polished metal, probably a nickel maybe on this one. But these are not the same handles, as you can tell, both in terms of thickness and in terms of construction. I rarely see these bend. I do see these bend a lot. So that's another important version. Again, mechanically, the drag systems, the main gears, they're all the same size. They didn't change anything up with that. So let's look at the back plates then, and you can see right away the USA made one, stainless steel with a stainless steel main gear, in this case some kind of alloy, and a brass, I believe that's a brass main gear. The second thing I find annoying with this reel is this is the free spool release spring, as is this. But if you put these side to side, you will notice there's a significant difference in the diameter of these springs. And that may be okay if you're using this reel 5 or 10 times a year, but if you're using this in any kind of commercial application, this one is going to break. And I find frequent breaks on these where these old springs tend to just wear on forever and ever, right? So alloy bridge plate, stainless steel bridge plate, stainless steel main gear. Believe it's brass, but could be an alloy gear there as well. Let's go ahead and take these off. So I'm going to disassemble the new model made in China. This is your main assembly. This is your gear assembly off of the one made in the U.S., just so you can get a better view from the back. You know, stainless doesn't hold the salt water. It doesn't collect grime. It doesn't rust. It doesn't rot. And there's nothing to be said for the inclusion of that kind of quality in this particular reel. So you can see the difference. It's pretty obvious right up front on this one in terms of the differences in the two plates. So what I find with this one in particular is it tends to get quite an accumulation of crud. You'll see it in this one. And these reels have been used comparable situations. There's no buildup there. There's There's a little bit of shellacking from some dried grease on this one, but by comparison, not only have you lost your tarnish here, which is all going into your reel assembly, but you're also getting buildup here. So what's another common failure on this reel? This dog tends to get stuck, and when that dog gets stuck, it doesn't operate properly and you lose the anti-reverse. Go ahead and take these off again, main assembly to main assembly. These are the drag gears assembly. The drags inside are the same. Pinion gears. This may be incorrect, but I got to tell you, I believe this one is brass. I believe this is an alloy, but it could be brass, not sure. But I have seen so many real failures now with this one sticking to, not sticking, rusting to that pinion shaft, where this one is stainless steel and this one is an alloy. So if you didn't wash your reels off, if you didn't take good care of them between trips, what you find is over time, maybe over at the end of the season to the next season, rust will have come in here or dirt will have accumulated in here and just destroyed this assembly, where this one with the stainless steel is much more difficult to get at, right? And then you can see more clearly stainless steel versus some kind of alloy or brass on the others. But again, the main differences there is the materials that are going into those bridge assemblies and the springs and the pinion gear setup. So to answer the question, is there a difference, and are the people that are complaining that the US made reel is a better reel justified in their complaint? Well, from my point of view, I truly believe that that's the case. I do believe that as they went to offshore manufacture, that they cheapened their standards. We showed you a couple of the weak points. The weak point on the new reels being this free spool release spring. The weak point being the accumulation of crud and a failure on the dog part to engage, and the seizing of this main shaft because of the alloy material used as opposed to a stainless steel alloy on the drivetrain. So I hope that answers your questions. I do product reviews, I do reel repair, been doing it for over 20 years. If you like what you saw, I would encourage you to subscribe to my channel and like this particular video. I post 2 or 3 times a week. I work on Penn reels, Shimano's, Daiwas, Okumas, Quantums, the name brand reels, and I will be posting 1 or 2 times a week, either with a product review or a new reel repair. So thank you for watching this. Again, subscribe if you like the video. This is Dennis with Second Chance Tackle.